war stories. Wanted to make a video. First and foremost, listen, I came to YouTube basically to talk about the dysfunctional, self-destructive children that these black women raised after picking irresponsible fathers. I don't come on YouTube to talk about not being able to get a certain type of black chick, or, you know what I mean, being rejected from black chicks, or not being able to find a black chick to follow my leadership. Because, I mean, I can get any black chick I want, plus I can get her to fucking follow my direction, because it's not that fucking hard. I wanted to make that disclaimer because I notice a lot of dudes on this YouTube manosphere type shit. They on here on some bullshit in reference to not being able to get bitches, or they gotta go overseas and fly overseas to get some bitch because of the marriage laws in this country. These guys are fucking lames, fucking idiots. I don't even want to use the word lames. These guys are just fucking delusional, dumb motherfuckers. You listen to these guys, you'll believe that there are no fucking black stable relationships in this country. I mean, I hear some of these dudes on here, literally they sound like it's impossible to find a woman for you. One bitch that's gonna follow your leadership, and that's for you. Listen to these guys on here, they make it seem like it's impossible. So it's like you can't align yourself with everybody. You know what I mean? Like I said, I come here to talk about the dysfunctional children these black dumb bitches raise. Basically after the fucking 1972, the fucking feminist movement. These are the self-destructive idiots these black hoes raise. That's why I come to YouTube, and that's what I talk about. Because these bitches want to blame all black men for the dysfunction that they have now within the neighborhoods they live in. So I wanted to make that fucking clear. But yeah, man, this video is going to be about broken black men. I don't give a fuck if you like my videos or if you don't. I don't even care if you fucking listen. I don't care about your donations. I don't want no fucking subscribers. I don't want no likes. I do this shit basically to get shit off my mind throughout the day, some shit that crosses my mind. So, you know, take all that other shit that these other YouTubers do to get money, to get subscribers and likes. Take that shit somewhere else, because I don't care. Listen, man. In my opinion, I think that the culture or the subculture that is called, you know, current hip-hop music has really conditioned many young black boys who didn't have fathers to grow up and look at manhood in a way that is not beneficial to them individually or as a collective when it comes to black men. Now, I use the phrase broken black men because I know that a lot of these dudes, like I said, were raised in single parent families, and they weren't taught their history. They weren't taught the basic fundamentals on how to survive and compete in this country, being able to do basic math, arithmetic, read, and write. Plus, many of them weren't taught their own history within this country. And you're a broken black man when you don't realize that the sky's the fucking limit. If you apply yourself, you put forth an effort, you will be able to live a functional lifestyle in which you're comfortable and the children you have will live a comfortable life. Now, I come across a lot of dudes, whether it's on YouTube, black guys, whether it's on YouTube or just in general. They have this perception that this is not their country and that they don't give a fuck. And I basically come to the conclusion it's basically two things. One, these are black guys who have felonies and they've been locked out of the American system when it comes to gainful employment, establishing a good life and living a stress-free, productive life. Or this is the type of dude who's just basically stuck on stupid and has no interest or value when it comes to doing for self and making things happen. Now, let's start things out and just say, listen, if you were raised by a single mom, more than likely, she didn't read and write to you. She didn't teach you your history, and she didn't tell you that your forefathers fought in every war since this country's inception. So as a black boy, or as a black man, you should know that America is your country just as it is any other motherfucker that resides here. Plus, you gotta realize that the labor in which your forefathers and your foremothers put forth jump-started the Industrial Revolution. But let's just focus on the blood that your forefathers shedded from the Revolutionary War to the Civil War, all the way up until the Afghanistan and the Iraqi War. Now, if you understand that this country's your country, you're not going to sit here and talk about going overseas, trying to escape white supremacy. You're going to say, no, my forefathers died and fought for this country, laid the foundation, moral foundation for this country. So we're going to stay here and make it better. But that's not the mentality many black dudes were raised on. Most of these black guys were raised in homes in which they weren't taught personal responsibility, self-control, discipline, and always focus on a bigger picture. Instead, many of these black guys had taken on the pathologies of their dysfunctional single mom who hated herself. She hated her natural hair. She hated her skin tone. She hated her black African features. And she passed on this self-hatred to these black boys at a young age. And these black boys became adults. They grew up without any racial pride, without any knowledge of their history. And they believed that this is not their country, especially after they get a felony and they serve time in the penitentiary or jail and they're mistreated and abused. They get out believing this is not their country. They get out believing this is a fucking hellhole. So we got to separate the black dudes who have been, put through this system and the black dudes who have no experience with this system. Because the black dudes who've been put through this system, a lot of them, their hope is gone. They've been defeated. They've been broken. But the black guys who haven't been through the system, who haven't experienced that crazy shit and who haven't been locked out of the economy due to a criminal record, the sky is the limit to us, and we can't relate and see things through the eyes of a, black guy who's been in and out of jail and locked out of the economic system because of his record. And that's where the divide comes. And that's why you hear a lot of these black dudes on YouTube within the manosphere talking about, let's go overseas and let's do this overseas. Let's just get away from this shit, because many of them don't see any hope within this country due to how they were treated. Whether it's because of their criminal record and being rejected through employment, or whether it's just, they've been in jail and they've seen the evil side of these white supremacists. But trying to leave and escape basically is giving up the sacrifices and the achievements of your forefathers who died in every war since this country's inception. So it's like, how can you as a black man just say, I'm going to pick up and leave and go overseas because of this gynocracy, because of these laws, when in fact your forefathers died defending this country? But this is what the female matriarch has produced after the feminist movement. This is what they produced. And they don't want to admit it. And even today, right now, these bitches are raising little 8, 7, 6-year-old black boys. They're not reading and writing with them. They picked a loser father to get pregnant by, and they're not producing any productive boys. And this is what the white supremacists want. And this is why black chicks are being held accountable right now. For years, they've been able to tell for decades, they've been telling black dudes what we weren't doing and what we were supposed to be doing and all this shit. Nah. Now, dudes are really telling the truth and telling the truth about these females, especially guys like me who don't even have kids but know what's going on. So, the time in which, black dudes were quiet and just, sat back and let these hoes run their mouth and talk shit, it's over. It's over. Black dudes are going to tell the truth. Especially the ones, like I said, who are classic, decent, productive type dudes. They ain't perfect, but, they got that structure, discipline, and that foundation in which they know how to, provide for themselves and respond any other responsibilities that they create. So, yeah, I wanted to make this video about the broken black men who feel as though they can't make it in this country due to whatever situation they found themselves in. Listen, if you can't make it here, you can't make it nowhere else. And I wanted to also say that many of these police officers that are patrolling their communities, they know what's up. They know that Pookie and Ray Ray are not going to be any type of threat to them. They know that most of the families within the neighborhoods they patrol are headed by single mothers who are dysfunctional. Probably were even prostitutes in the past. So these cops